We'll give just to let everybody join again.
Very nice. Late start to the show, but it's okay.
Well, we might have to just go till like 11:30 or whatever, but at least we still got a show to go.
Joe, is it too early to fall in love with a player in the draft, or should we not even focus on that?
No, I think you can. I think it's about time because you have March Madness coming. It's
Very
right
true.
around the corner, and you're going to have some of the best players in the nation going up against each other, and all the eyes are going to be on all the top prospects. So why not?
Right.
And there was one that I saw rumored was that one of the top prospects was saying that he wanted to be drafted by the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes, sir. Well, give me 1 second, Joe.
Sure. Yeah, we're back, Tony. I'm just gonna have to look in to see what's going on with YouTube as of late. Seems to be failing us, man. Hopefully we get everybody back. Yes, this is live. We are live. Yeah, something weird's happening with the YouTube as of late, dude. I'm gonna have to check in and find out what's going on. Might have to go ahead and send them some type of notification here and telling them, hey man, y'all gotta check this out, dude. This is ridiculous. We don't hear you, Mike. We lost your audio. No, I got you, bro, at all.
We're rising together on a Tuesday. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Area 210 podcast powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera and Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. The Spurs don't take the court for another 2 days. They don't play till Thursday night against the Phoenix Suns. But we have lots of Spurs talk to get into today because it finally happened, Joe. We're finally making headlines nationally when it comes to how good this team is. You and I have debated what is the ceiling of this Spurs team this year, the 25-26 edition of the Spurs. What is the ceiling? That's actually the topic of conversation that was on ESPN's First Take today. We're going to hear from Stephen A. Smith what he had to say about the Spurs, how far he thinks the Spurs are going to go. We'll react to that. Jeremy Sohan, former Spur, once a Spur, always a Spur, is going to have a baby, but he may not have a girlfriend to go along with that baby, so we'll get into that as well. I'm falling in love with a 6'11" big man from Germany, Joe.
No.
He's going to be the highest drafted German big man since Dirk Nowitzki. We'll show you highlights because he might be available when the Spurs are picking somewhere between 11 and 14. Would you want him on this team? Do you need him on this team? We'll talk about the icons that passed away. Robert Duvall, Jesse Jackson passed away in the last 24 hours. We'll get into that as well. But, Joe, this is take two of the show. We go on YouTube. We do a thing called Studio Labs as well. And it all has to work together. For some reason, it hasn't been jiving. But this is episode 525, part 2. Those of you who are listening in the future, thank you so much for being part of our show. Those who listen in the afternoon, the evenings, and the overnight shift, thank you so much for being part of our show. And for leaving comments as well on our YouTube page as well. They don't come out on the side of the screen whenever you do the show, and we see it on our end. But we see it after the show when you guys watch it at home, at work, whatever the case would be. Thank you for leaving your comments as well. Some of those comments, Joe, critical of you. Critical of you for your take on the Spurs. Say that you don't think the Spurs are going to get past the first round of the playoffs, despite the fact the Spurs are 38-16. Currently, the 2 seed in the Western Conference, just a couple of games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I found it interesting that First Take brought up this topic because over the weekend, we saw a lot of Spurs emerge in the NBA All-Star weekend. We saw Wemby ball out during the All-Star game. Brought the intensity. Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards both said he was intense. He was playing defense. He brought the energy, so we brought the defense. We brought the intensity. We brought the energy. You saw Carter Bryant almost win the slam dunk competition. You had 3 Spurs: Carter Bryant, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle in the Rising Stars Challenge. You saw also De'Aaron Fox knocked down a game winner in one of the 4 games played in the All Star game to take Team Stripes to victory.
Yeah.
Lots of Spurs in the mix there, NBA All Star Weekend. So today, the question brought up on ESPN, Joe, we're finally making the headlines, Joe. It's not. They're not talking Lakers. They're not talking LeBron. They're not talking Knicks or Celtics or Sixers. They're talking about the Spurs today, Joe. And I found it interesting that Stephen A. Smith's answer was actually the middle ground of what you and I have been saying, Joe. So, Joe, what are your thoughts on ESPN finally talking about the Spurs and having a whole segment devoted to Wemby, a whole segment dedicated to this team and how far they can go? What are your thoughts before we hear from Stephen A? What are your thoughts on ESPN actually paying attention to this?
No, I think they have to. I mean, the Spurs have been the second seed in the West, you know, for quite some time now, more than halfway through the halfway mark of the season. And the representation that they had at the NBA All-Star weekend, looking at the young talent that the Spurs have, and Harper, Carter Bryant, then you have Stephon Castle, you have Wemby, you have Fox. It's undeniable. You can't go ahead and just say, "Oh, this team is all right." No, they're a very good team. They're a very good team. And then Wemby setting the tone for the NBA All-Star game. Coming out and trying to make it competitive, and it kind of rubbed off on everybody else. Most watched NBA All-Star game, for quite some time. So the Spurs are back in the public eye now. Everybody, all eyes, I think, are going to be on Wemby and see how good he does, right? Because right now that's the gauge. I think the team is going to go as Wemby goes, right? And then, of course, the supporting cast that he has around him, they're very good right now. So I think that the Spurs are on track right now to go ahead and get all this media attention that they rightfully deserve. And it's probably not just going to be First Take. I'm sure that now that they have set the tone, First Take, and start talking about the Spurs and how far will they go, I'm sure that it's going to go ahead and rub off now. And we're going to hear more and more about this on other podcasts, which we've already seen, like Michelle Beadle and what they do over there with Boogie Cousins. They're always talking about the Spurs. What's his name? Gilbert Arenas and their podcast
Yeah.
about the Spurs. So, I mean, it's a hot topic of conversation because why, Mike? The Spurs are the hot team. They're that young team, that hot team, more so than OKC is right now.
And this is when we take a good look at the NBA season. They say the NBA season really starts at Christmas, but really starts now because the trade deadline's passed, because there's only a third of the season left. There's only 26 games left in the NBA season for the Spurs, only 2 months left. And every game matters now. They're starting to jockey for position. Who's going to be the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed? And it was beyond the players out there. The national media got to see Mitch Johnson coach of the All-Star game. The assistant coaches were out there. Even Dylan Harper and his brother, Ron Harper Jr., being embarrassed by Ron Harper Sr., was part of the mix over there at NBA All-Star Weekend. So we're going to hear from Stephen A. Smith because, again, it was posed to him just 30 minutes ago. How far can Wemby take the Spurs? His answer, kind of in the middle ground where he agrees with me, kind of agrees with Joe. Let's hear what he had to say, courtesy of ESPN's First Take.
It's too good to pass up. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, man. Wemby, I'm going to say conference finals is the answer to this question. I think your experience or lack thereof, Iman, comes back to bite you the deeper you go into the playoffs. I think you could get away with it in the first round. I think you might be able to pull it off if you're great enough, which I believe Wemby is, in the second round. Where it gets interesting is when you're a series away from the finals. Chances are you're going to go up against somebody that's been there before.
Yeah.
And even though we saw an Oklahoma City team just win the world championship that didn't necessarily have that experience, I'm still compelled to look at the San Antonio Spurs and say, I love their makeup. I love their moxie. I love Wemby. I love Castle. I love Harper. I love these cats, right? And Harrison Barnes being on there obviously is an experienced element. But I'm just of the mindset that when I look at them and I think about Oklahoma City and what they bring, I know they've beaten 4 out of 5 times this year. But that's the regular season, that ain't the playoffs. I'm thinking about Denver with Jokic, and I'm thinking about the fact that even though they've had some injuries, they retooled in terms of getting a bit younger, right, and getting a bit more depth. I'm looking at stuff like that, and I'm saying, then I think about Houston. You can start 4 dudes 6'11", and you got a number 1 option in KD. Even with Wimby, ain't no answer for KD. KD gonna get you to 25 to 30. He gonna do that. So I'm just of the mindset they're good enough to get to the conference finals, but they'll run into one of those teams that will derail a trip to the finals this year. That's where I'm at with it.
Okay, so somewhat in the middle, Joe. He basically went off and said that Stephen A. Smith, courtesy of ESPN's First Take, basically said, "Hey, the Spurs are getting past the first round." He says that later on in the segment, he said there ain't nobody in the first round that's going to beat the Spurs, because he said Klay Thompson is not playing for Golden State anymore, and Klay Thompson isn't that. The Splash Brothers don't exist. Is basically what he's saying. He's saying LeBron's too old. They don't shoot very well in LA. Doesn't have the faith that Phoenix is going to do anything, or the Clippers are going to make any noise. So he's saying the Spurs are going to make the second round. It's just, can the Spurs get past the second round? Can they get past a Denver? Can they get past a Houston? He believes they can, but at some point he thinks that the inexperience will catch up to them at some point. But he thinks it's the third round, not the first round, Joe. What are your thoughts on what Stephen A. had to say?
I mean, I appreciate his enthusiasm, as I do all the other Spurs fans. You know, everybody's excited, and I'm excited as well. I'm just saying, just from what I've seen from this team, based on early on in the season to the growth that they're at right now, it still leads me to believe that I don't think this team is tough enough to get past that first round. Like I told you, their teams kick it up another notch. It's very intense. Every round that you go through, first round, it gets intense. It gets intense. The intensity gets amplified. And it's just more so in the second round, semifinals, Western Conference finals. I don't know if the team is going to be, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if they're going to be mentally tough enough to get out of that, because teams will pressure you. They're going to take away what you like to do. They're going to make it hard for you to score. And when you get pushed like that and you're a young team and you have not been there before, there's going to be a lot of adversity. And unfortunately for the Spurs, I just think that's part of the growing process. It's part of the maturation process, right? You have to have adversity to get better. And I think that's why I tell you, I don't know if they're going to be good enough to get out of the first round, but either way, it's going to be a win if they get there in the playoffs, right? We hadn't even thought of the Spurs in the playoffs, more or less them in the, being the second seed in the Western Conference. So there's a lot of positives there, but at the end of the day, I don't know if they're mentally tough, Mike.
Well, and that's kind of like we'll see when we get there type of thing,
Yeah.
And I respect what you have to say, because there is some histrionics behind it all. We don't know what this team has when it comes to
Their moxie, you know what I mean?
Kicking it up a gear.
Yeah.
I will say this, though, the makings of what it takes to win games in the playoffs, they do have, in the sense that they play defense.
Yeah.
And they can play up-tempo offense. So they have the ingredients of what's needed. It's what's between the ears, it's within the heart that makes it all happen. I take some confidence in the fact that we have like De'Aaron Fox, Luke Cornett, Harrison Barnes, who have been through those playoff battles. So this isn't a Spurs team that's a bunch of young players. I know we have Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, who have never played a playoff game. Wemby's never played a playoff game, but Wemby has played big-time playoff games in Europe. Yeah. He has played in multiple All-Star games. He has had it where all eyes are on him. So it's not like he'd be afraid of the moment, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that argument, Mike.
What's that?
Wemby's played in some big games, right? He has. Mm-hmm. But it also seems like in the biggest moments, he just can't seem to get over that hump. Like, you saw him when he was playing against the USA, right, in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Dejected, upset, disappointed, crying on the court, because he really wanted to win for his hometown, right? He wanted to win for France, and he felt like he let him down. And there's been some moments there where Wemby has the ball in his hands, he's trying to take that shot, and it just doesn't fall for him. NBA All-Star game, you saw that again. They put the ball in Wemby's hands, has an opportunity. has a good look, just doesn't fall for him. And
Joe,
I'm just telling you,
how old was he, Joe?
this just happened this last weekend.
No, I'm talking.
It happened Sunday.
NBA All Star Weekend, Joe. He shot 73% from the field, Joe.
I get that, Mike, but in the big moment when it really counts, when you have to knock down that shot,
He missed a shot that wasn't designed for him. He missed a shot that wasn't
Mike.
designed for him. It wasn't
It
designed
doesn't
for him.
matter. You're that guy. You should knock down these shots. And all I'm saying is those shots aren't falling for him right now. But it doesn't mean that they're not going to fall for him eventually. And I had said that on Monday. Like right now, those shots aren't falling for him. But when they do, and he rises up to those moments, and he's able to go ahead and will his team to victory because you know what? He has the ball in his hands. 5 seconds left on the clock, tied game. Wemby's, or they're down by 3 or 2, and Wemby takes a 3 and wins the game. Boom, Spurs go move on to the second round of the playoffs. Those are moments where you're going to be like, Mira Wemby. He's built.
I think it's a 4-horse race right now for the Western Conference. The best team in all of the NBA, the best team in the Western Conference is the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
But they don't have a point guard. If Fred VanVleet was playing, they'd be the number 1 seed by far. Because with a point guard, that team is unbeatable. But VanVleet's been hurt. He's out the entire season. And that's why they struggle in the offensive set, is because they literally play a game without a point guard.
Yeah.
So Houston's not going to go to the NBA Finals, but they'll be there next year. They'll be, banging on the door next year. Denver has had so many injuries this year that the duration of time that they'll be in the playoffs will be predicated on what? Health.
Yeah.
Then you look over at Oklahoma City Thunder, who've had a lot of games missed by Jalen Williams. Chet Holmgren, we talk about Wemby being injury prone. Chet Holmgren is too. If Chet goes down, all hell breaks loose, Joe, because then that defense folds like a busted chair. I look at the Spurs right now as they have veteran leadership and they have young legs. Keldon, Vassell have never played in a playoff game, but they've been in the league for 6 or 7 years. And it's just one of the things where it's exciting to see. So you brought up Oklahoma City Thunder the other day. And let me kind of give you the history behind Oklahoma City Thunder. It's hard to believe that just 3 seasons ago, they had a losing record. They were 40-42 back in 2023. 40-42. The following year, they finished 57-25 and were the 1 seed in the Western Conference. So this is kind of like what you're saying here.
Yeah.
You have to have bumps and bruises along the way. So they went from being
adversity,
a losing team, to the 1 seed in the West.
Yeah.
They lost in the second round of the playoffs. They won in the first round. They lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games. Then they won the NBA Finals the following year. So they went from losing record, second round of the playoffs, NBA champions. Where I would say what makes the Spurs different than Oklahoma City Thunder, though, is that when you look at that Oklahoma City Thunder roster, that roster was the youngest roster in the entire NBA, and the Spurs don't have the youngest roster in the NBA. Yes, we have a young team, but they didn't have the veterans that were out there like a Harrison Barnes, a De'Aaron Fox, a Luke Cornett, a Keldon Johnson, a Devin Vassell on that team. They were just a bunch of young 19, 20, 21-year-olds who went far in the playoffs. That's what I think is the difference is about it all. And again, Joe, the Jackals. You're saying the Jackals are going to propel us to wins?
Nacho, Big Red, and your boys. You're an honorary Jackal, Mike. Let's not forget you saved your belly real quick.
No, but when I say the Jackals, I'm talking about the whole Frost Bank Center. Is that the first 2 rounds, the Spurs are going to have a home court advantage, and I don't see the Clippers going off and beating the Spurs 4 times. I don't see the Lakers. I don't see Phoenix. I don't see any of those things. Can they beat up on the Spurs? Sure. Can they make it a 6-game series or a 7-game series? Why not? It is the playoffs. But I don't see any of those teams beating the Spurs in the first round. I think the worst-case scenario for the Spurs is they get to the second round. I think the best-case scenario is that they make it to the finals. I think that's the best-case scenario. Now, if they make it to the finals, are they going to win? Man, now they're playing Detroit. That Detroit team is the best team in basketball right now. If I could go bet money on the NBA Finals right now, I'd bet on Detroit. But then again, Joe, just like you would say about Detroit, about the Spurs, Detroit hasn't played any battles. Detroit has gone from a losing team. But can you count on the Knicks? Like, there's nobody on the Eastern Conference, a Jason Tatumless Celtics team. Can you count on any of that? That's why I'm saying there's no juggernaut this year.
There's teams that are going to be dark horse teams, right? That are
They didn't expect it. No, they didn't. They didn't expect them to.
be in the playoffs or the Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals,
Right.
but they're going to face adversity. They're going to meet it, and they're going to be able to thrive with it, and they're going to be able to embrace it and move on. I'm just saying, if you look and see what's been happening, like even Detroit, right? We talk about the Spurs a lot. They haven't been there before in the playoffs for quite some time, couple seasons, 6 seasons or so. Detroit's been that same team too, right? If we look at their record, much like Oklahoma, what has Detroit done? They hadn't been a very good team for a while. They got a lot better this season. Number one seed in the Eastern Conference. They look very good, very poised team, but let's be honest. One of the things that Detroit had been doing is they had been tanking. They had been tanking for a while. So this team probably was better than advertised. But the thing is, with teams like Detroit, you look at teams like San Antonio, the one things, like you said, that they have in common here is experience, the inexperience, the lack of when they go into the postseason. And like JHNSB was saying here, and I kind of agree with him. I know that everybody says he's a Spurs hater, but he's also a realist, kind of like I am. And I'm not saying that I'm not hoping the Spurs don't do good in the playoffs. I'm just saying, like, it takes it to overcome these things that you have to get better with, right? You have to go ahead and elevate your game to another level. And what he was saying, he says, next year is our year. It takes a few seasons. He says, overnight success, it does. It sounds very exciting, but it isn't realistic. And that's all I've been saying to the Spurs fans is while they would like the team to go from, man, no playoff appearances for what, 6 seasons? All of a sudden, look what's happening. Second seed, they're going to be in the playoffs. A lot of things to be excited for, myself included. But to have that expectation that they're going to be there in the Western Conference Finals or they're going to get far into the playoffs, it's like I would just go ahead and say at this point, pump the brakes and then just enjoy the ride, right? Because when a team gets to the finals, right, the NBA Finals, or even gets to the Western Conference Finals, they have to overcome a lot of adversity. And you have to go ahead and enjoy the ride, right? Where they came from and where they're at now. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just going to enjoy seeing them flourish and get better, but I don't know how far they're going to go in the playoffs, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing to have, right? The unknown, Mike, the unknown.
It's moving the goalposts though in my end over here because it went from being just make the playoffs, man. We'd be happy with just making the playoffs. But now you look at it, Joe. I think back to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals making the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think and the idea of they'll just be back, and they never went back.
Yeah.
You look back at Dan Marino making the Super Bowl early in his career. Did he ever go back?
No.
No. You have to take advantage of the moment when the moment's right. And that's not to say that the Spurs won't make the playoffs next year or in future years. But if you are healthy and you are a top seed, you have to take advantage of that no matter your experience. Because there's nothing to say that your players are going to be totally healthy the following year. There's nothing to say that that the matchups aren't going to align the way that they should. Oklahoma City is going to have another lottery pick this year, along with the Spurs. And these teams are just going to get better. Fred VanVleet's coming back for the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are going to get better. The Lakers may unload LeBron James and reload by having all that salary cap space.
If they let him go, Mike, that frees up like $55.8 million in cap
right,
space.
and they can go get somebody, right? Somebody who's in their prime right now. Yeah. They could go after a Giannis for crying out loud. So it's interesting what's going on right now with the Spurs. They haven't taken advantage of the moments that are there, and I just think that it's interesting because look at the three teams that are ahead of the Spurs in the eyes of other people. Spurs are second in the Western Conference in the standings, but you're looking at a Houston team that doesn't have a point guard, and the Spurs match up well because of that.
You're
looking at a Denver team that's injured.
Yeah.
You're looking at a OKC Thunder team that's basically playing just above 500 for the past 2 months and isn't playing like they were the first 2 months of the season, and the Spurs beat them 4 out of 5 times this year. So I look at it, and I think to myself, I understand what you're saying because all things being equal, you are right, Joe. But what I'm saying is that the normal circumstances do not exist.
I get that. I understand. The
The normal
Spurs team.
the normal circumstances are we have to face like the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Draymond
we
Green
don't got
in
the
their
Splash
primes.
Brothers on this
There's,
team.
there's no Splash Brothers. The
No.
normal is we got to face a LeBron type team, but LeBron's 41. The normal thing is you got to face a tough Houston team or a tough Denver team that's been through the playoffs, and Kevin Durant's been through the playoffs, but they don't have any point guards. I'm just saying that the normal obstacles aren't there. Dare I say the Spurs might have a New England Patriots type of path towards a playoff run. Because I tell you what, though, what is more likely, that the Patriots going back to the Super Bowl next year or not making the playoffs? It's more likely that they won't make the playoffs next year. I'm just saying that the path is there, and it's just I see it, Joe. I see it. Lots of
super chats
coming on in.
Let's get to some of them.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
$5 from the Drew Show. Thank you, Drew. We appreciate the support. Go ahead, Mike.
He says the Washington Bullets, the Portland Trailblazers, and the Seattle Supersonics were all very young teams that won the chips early. Never say never, and that's it. It's not unheard of to make those runs. It's not unheard of. How quick did Duncan win one? Right, Duncan won
2
one in
years.
his second year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not unheard of, is what I'm saying. What are the other super
And
chats coming on in?
Duncan did have some help though, because he had a good cast of characters already around him at the time that he was drafted and came to the Spurs. Let's go ahead and put in this other super chat.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
$2 from Sam Salinas. Appreciate you, Sam. He says, I just want to see the graphic of Edgar Mike, because that's what happens
Let's see.
when they donate the $2, $5, whatever they're donating to us. It has the stacks of cash and it says, thank you for making us more money. That's that's what I had in there. But we had
next Joe's going to be selling some NFTs of Edgar Mike.
Miguelito. Here's another one.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And here's a new super chat here from
Tony says
Tony
that he's a
Ramos.
realist Spurs fan and Spurs can make it to the second round. I think that should be minimum, Joe. I mean, if they go off and win 58 games, they shouldn't be losing to a team that won 44 games. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But postseason's a different animal. That's all I'm telling you. Let's see another super chat coming from the Drew Show.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
See, look at Mike on screen.
Yeah, so it's the 77 Blazers, Walton, and Lucas teams, both in their second year. We're going back in time. I mean, it's all true. It's all true. But see, that's like, look at those Walton teams, right? The Seattle Supersonics, rather, 79.
Rest in peace, Walton.
The Seahawks, I say the Seahawks, the Supersonics in 79. You look at those teams, they had no idea that Bird and Magic were around the corner.
Yeah.
They had no idea that the Lakers and the Celtics were going to dominate, and the Sixers in 83 were going to then dominate as well. Moses Malone, Julius Erving, those guys. Drew Show coming in with another super chat saying that he agrees with Christopher Pena. Say that when it comes to the Spurs,
Here comes the money.
Mitch Johnson is the weakest link. I will 100% blame little Mitch for any and all failures in the playoffs. I hate simulator coaches. Again, you know what? There's something to be said about that, Joe. As much as I'm a supporter of Mitch Johnson, he's not going to bat 1,000, and he's going to go up against a coach like Steve Kerr, who's going to take a game or two from him, not because they have more talent, but because they have better coaching, better schemes, and better ability to make the adjustments in a best-of-7 series.
We have
That
one
is
more
true.
incoming super chat.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And this is from Christopher Pena, 9267.
Mitch will be the reason why the Spurs lose in round one. The better team wins in the playoffs, Joe. I mean, this is not the NFL, Joe. This is not the NFL where it's a one-game playoff and there might be a blizzard and Bo Nix might get hurt the second to last play of the game the week before. It's not like that. If the Spurs lose a 4 out of 7 series to Phoenix, it's not because Mitch Johnson sucks, it's because Phoenix was the better team. The better team, 99.99999% of the chance of the time, barring injury, the better team wins a 4 out of 7 series. That's it. That's it. So you have to ask yourself the question, do you think Phoenix is better than the Spurs? Because if you do, then then you don't think that the Spurs are really the second best team in the West. You don't think that they're a top 4 team in the West. It's the second round that gets me, Joe, because playing at Denver with a Jokic, playing a team like Houston, which is very dynamic, who can catch fire with Kevin Durant, Şengün flopping all over the place, Amen Thompson, who's a defensive stopper. That's going to be exciting battles to watch, Joe. That really is going to be exciting to watch. I just think the Spurs, worst case scenario, is second round for me. That's worst case scenario. But I honestly think that there is that pathway, Joe, to get a lot further, not because the Spurs are the better team or not because the Spurs are primed for it. It's because I think the other teams have faults that are just as glaring as the Spurs. That's what I'm saying. Hey,
Yeah.
Joe, big congratulations, I guess, to Jeremy Sohan.
Jesus.
So if you want to go on Twitter, look up Maya Mills. Maya Mills is his
Girlfriend.
was his girlfriend.
Can we give him a round of applause? Let's give him a little golf clap, right?
All right.
Congratulations to Jeremy Sohan and his girlfriend there as they welcome a baby girl, apparently.
Yeah, so she showed off her belly bump. I don't know if you want to show a photo of it all from Twitter. Her
I don't
name
know
is
if I
Maya
have it.
Mills.
Yeah.
She's an influencer out of London. They were dating for quite some time. I was taking a look at her backstory to see if she had dated other athletes in the past, and she had not. So she wasn't somebody who went from Devin Booker to, this player to this. I always say Devin Booker because Devin Booker seems to be dating everybody, right?
Yeah.
But she announced her pregnancy, showed off her belly bump and all that stuff, and posted a video that featured Jeremy Sohan, right? As they were kind of, learning about them having a baby, gender reveal, all that stuff. But in the same post, remember Jeremy Sohan with those cryptic messages? She had a
Dark
cryptic
times.
message in there that basically insinuated that they've broken up. Didn't say it. She stopped following him on Instagram. He still follows her, though. And then she posted a story that basically said, it's great to be a woman because you always find out what happened.
No.
So we can insinuate what was going on. She didn't outright say that we broke up, didn't outright say that they had that he had cheated on her or whatnot. But everyone's coming to that conclusion, Joe. Whenever you stop following somebody on social media, there's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah. So I'll show the video that I see here. I think this was via TikTok.
Yeah.
So that's this is a video that they had put, I believe, on TikTok, of their pregnancy journey, showing the sonograms and them in the car and whatnot.
The gender reveal.
Yeah, the gender reveal, all that. Good times, with them together. But as you said, she posted something cryptic, unfollowed him, kind of insinuating something happened.
The one on the right where she posted something that says, I love being a woman because we always find out what a man did.
Yeah.
And then
she unfollowed him, So you can interpret that however you want. But we do have more incoming super chats we got to address.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate the super chat. And he's saying, dropping more money in the bank. Appreciate you.
There
man.
you go.
And we have some more incoming super chats here by the Drew Show.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Thank you, Drew, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate
It's
you.
this Mitch, for all his bravado, was quiet as a church mouse coaching the All-Star game. Detroit coach, Raptors coach, all fired up. Little Mitch, likes calling him Little Mitch. He goes on to say that, talking about Sohan's girl, saying IG thought, bailing on baby daddy. You don't say, he says.
Let me go ahead and do the
Money
music.
talk.
Here comes the money.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate that. That's
No,
that's
and
pretty funny.
as far as her being a thought or not, I went to go see if she had dated other athletes because that that's always the case, right? That seems to be always the case. It's like, oh well, this person is with this Instagram model, but that Instagram model was also with this athlete, played in the NFL,
Yeah.
this Major League Baseball player, this NBA guy, and they bounce around from athlete to athlete, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't the case with Maya Mills. So I'm just saying that Maya Mills doesn't have that dating history. And I went deep diving into that to make sure Like I wanted to say, oh, she dated Devin Booker. She dated somebody else, right? But it didn't happen.
Like a trail of athletes. And look at
Yeah.
this one, Joy-Con Drift King. She locked him down for 18 years, like that Kanye West song.
Which is like
18 years.
which is about 15 years longer than the rest of his career.
Yeah. And we
Drew
got
Show
another
coming out
incoming
and
super chat.
says
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
$20.
$20. It turned orange, Joe.
Wow.
And I
look
hadn't
at
heard the
that.
phrase thought in a while, and I'm not going to tell you what that means.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
IG thought it's allowance money versus settlement money, which reminds me of Anthony Edwards, who won the MVP award at the
Oh,
All-Star
God.
weekend. He paid his baby mama $1,080,000, $1.08 million to go away after she had their baby. He gave her 18 years worth of child support up front
He
and said,
did.
I don't want to deal with you.
He did.
That's crazy.
And that's
But
crazy. I
damn,
mean,
Tony Donald saying, damn, Drew, bring in the money today. Hey, man, here comes the money.
here comes the money.
What are your
They're
thoughts
like,
on that thought?
It's funny. They say, can we limit Drew to 3 super chats per stream, making the rest of y'all look bad right now? That's all good. Don't hate, appreciate.
You know what? Drew Show is kind of like when you go to the bar and they have that very dramatic bottle service that has all the flares and the sparklers and the pretty girl coming by with the bottles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Drew Show coming in with bottle service today on the
Bottle service. Yeah. VIP bottle service,
Joe. I'm falling in love with a 6'11" German man, Joe.
Oh, no. You're throbbing? Are you throbbing?
Kinda. Okay, so the Spurs right now have Atlanta Hawks' pick as a swap, right? The 2026 NBA draft is supposed to be one of the deepest, one of the best drafts that have been around in years. I know the last year's was really good as well. So it's considered to be super deep. They're saying that maybe up to 8 All-Stars in there. And then there's some projected ones that could be wild cards as All-Stars as well. One of them being Kingston Flemings from San Antonio, went to Brandon High School, balling out for the Houston Cougars right now. So I'm looking at it right now, and if the season were to end right now, according to NBA Tankathon, the Spurs would have the best chance of being the 11 pick in the draft, with a 10% chance or so of being in the top 4. So who's available at the 11 spot, Joe? What positions do we need to fill? More than likely, we need to fill the 4 spot, right? Because there's no more
Yeah.
Sohan, and we're seeing the Toyota Corolla getting up in miles. Can I interest you in a 6'11" guy, 19-year-old named Hans Steinbach? Joe. Let's show some highlights, Joe. He's on my Twitter account.
All right. Let me go ahead and go on there and check him out.
So I went on YouTube, started searching around, found this guy. He's projected to be the end of the lottery, kind of a pick 9 through 15 kind of guy. But is this somebody that we want on a team? So Heinz Steinbach plays for Washington. He is 19 years old. He's a freshman in college right now. If you can full screen that.
Let me go
He
ahead.
is 6'11", shooting 36% from 3, averaging 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game. 6'11", Washington Husky, considered to be the best German big man to enter the draft since Dirk Nowitzki. Joe, Mita Hans.
Yeah, Mita Hans, but oh God.
I was just saying,
It's only
Joe.
you get excited when you watch these highlights and whatnot, but what are the brothers' stats, Mike?
18 points, 11.5 rebounds per game, shooting more than 55% from the field, 36% from 3. Not a lot of 3 shot, though, but it's 36% nonetheless. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy has the guy can dribble. So it's not like
Yeah,
they have to
he's
teach
got
him how to
handles.
dribble.
He's
Got
got
handles.
Mita, he can
plays-
shoot, right?
He plays some decent defense. He's international. Spurs love themselves an international player.
He can shoot, right? No, Mita, he can shoot.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm
he's a
just
cone
saying.
on defense. I'm good. Oh, yeah, slow white guy, Mike.
Why is he a
That's
slow
what I
white guy?
thought.
Because he's just a white. He just looks slow. I'm just saying. You
He's
saw those
just
monster dunks, Joe.
He's
You-
big and clunky,
So he's
bro.
Zach Collins. Is what you're saying? You're saying he's Zach Collins.
Booty crumbs, part 2. They can come into booty crumbs. No, bro, I'm good. I'm good. The Spurs need somebody that can actually just hit an open jumper, hit an open 3-point shot.
Yeah.
They need somebody that can help space the floor. And the guy doesn't have to be like the most athletic dude out there on the court, just as long as he can knock down some jumpers, like they need scoring, Mike. They need that in the times where the offense becomes stagnant, and we've seen that happen at times where the Spurs will fall behind because no one can knock down a damn jump shot, or they
Yeah.
fall in love with the three and it's not falling, and they keep on chunking up three after three after three after three, and everybody's yelling at the TV, "Stop shooting threes!" You know, it's like God, it's like a bad record. You see that happen all the time. Every other game, they just fall in love with that 3-point shot, and it doesn't always go in.
So his strengths, according to Tankathon, is offensive rebounding is his greatest strength. Offensive rating, rebounds, putbacks, not committing a lot of fouls. He's a good free throw shooter. He's a good shooter overall. Good 3-point shooter. His negatives are not the best defender. Maybe he is a cone. But again, what we need is offense, dude. We have defense already there. We have Wemby already over there. The guy's 6'11". You can't teach height. Just put your hands up, dude. Put your hands up.
Who's that
I'm
other
looking-
guy that plays for Memphis? What's his name? That big old guy that they got out there, their center?
Oh, you got me on that one, man.
Forgot his name.
You got me on that one. But I'm
He was
looking
a
right
high
now.
pick.
I'm looking at a mock draft right now. One of the players that's supposedly going to be a top 3 player, AJ DeBonsta from BYU, the small forward.
Mhm.
He said All-Star Weekend. He goes, they said, where do you want to be drafted? Who do you want to be drafted by? What did he say? Los Spurs. He goes, get me to
Los
the
Spurs.
Spurs.
Oh, look at
We're
Zach
coming
Edey.
for you,
That's who
AJ.
I'm talking about. That white boy you just showed's another Zach Edey, man. Come on, Mike.
Oh, no, Edie couldn't shoot like that. And
He can't move.
Edie runs like Frankenstein, dude.
Bro,
Just-
he runs in slow motion, Mike. The
He's
brother
like
runs in
Lurch
slow-mo.
from the Addams family, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah. That's who
That's
you're
funny.
picking as your star pupil there. Another Zach Edey, bro. Come on, Mike.
Well, I'm going to look up right now because I did not see this. What is his player comparison, right? Because Kingston
God.
Flemings of San Antonio, from Brennan High School, his player comparison, according to ESPN prognosticators, is De'Aaron Fox. And guess who he talks to all the time? De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox was talking about him during NBA All-Star Weekend. But the player comp for Hans Steinbach is a modern-day Steven Adams or a Drew Gooden type of player. All right. I mean, they didn't say Zach Collins. They said Steven Adams. I mean,
What's
I
the
wouldn't have minded
difference?
attitude.
Zach Collins is, oh my God, dude. He was
Yeah,
just
we got a super check coming in from Drew again.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
There you go, Mike. Thanks, Drew, for the $2.
It's
Appreciate you.
Sneaky athletic, not slow, right, Mike? We know. So our good friend John Dyer at Spurs and Salsa got upset that I was talking about the draft. He said that I have tanking mentality or whatever the case may be. He goes, just enjoy the Spurs playoff run. You can multitask, man. I can enjoy the Spurs playoff run and then look and go, oh, Atlanta's losing. That's good. Oh, Charlotte winning. Clippers winning. That's
Yeah.
good for the Spurs because we get a better pick. I can multitask when it comes to it all.
Yeah.
Joe, did you see what happened in Kansas State?
What happened?
Kansas State fired their head coach overnight. And the coach's name, Jerome Tang. Jerome Tang? Like the name. Anyway,
Tang, like the orange drink from back in the 80s. Like, come on.
so Jerome Tang was fired because he at one point led this team to the Elite Eight, and now they're one of the worst teams in the Big 12. So years have passed. He's been with the team for a handful of seasons, and they struggled, right? The big debate, Joe, is that they owe him $19 million in his contract. And when you get fired, you get to keep that money. That money's guaranteed, right? Kansas State overnight said that they're firing him with cause. You know what that cause was?
What?
Him calling out the players to the media the past 2 weeks. So in interviews the past 2 weeks, head coach Jerome Tang said, these guys don't belong on the team, man. I know I recruited them, but these guys don't want to be here. They don't even like each other. They don't play well together. They're not proud of the school. They don't represent the school very well. we need to get rid of most of these players. He literally said that, I'm going to get rid of most of these players. And then about the fact that our stream might have gone to crap again. Is that true?
I do have fiber internet. It's not my fault, dude. I'm telling you, it's YouTube. They're saying, "Oh, your Wi-Fi." I don't use Wi-Fi. So,
Yeah, it's either Streamlabs or YouTube, right?
I mean, I'm still seeing that we're live, so
Yeah,
we're
let's keep
good.
going.
Yeah, let's keep
So
going.
so let's go ahead and give some love to one of our sponsors, man. Which one do you want to go with first?
Let's go ahead and give some love to PF Chang's.
Very nice, La Cantera location.
PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Quite a bit of those. And they also have a brand new old-fashioned here. And I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it last Friday. It was very good. And thanks to Sean for showing the great hospitality that he has to the show. So if you ever go out there to the PF Chang's location at La Cantera, make sure that you tell Sean Quintero, the Area 210 sent you. Like I said, he might be nice and give you all something, hook you up with the drink or the appetizer. So it's always good to let him know that you were sent by the Area 210. He appreciates it, and also Mr. Chang does as well, which he watches the show avidly. So appreciate all the support they give us.
I'm sending something to the media share right now, Joe. Celebrating over the weekend on the media share.
No.
Alex Noriega and his wife Jen. They celebrated their
yeah.
5-year anniversary on Valentine's Day, and they want to thank Sean for taking care of them. Let's go ahead and show that photo if we can on the media share there.
Let's see. Got it right here. So there we go. Let's go ahead and give some love.
5 years, Joe. 5 years.
There you go.
There they are.
Yeah.
There's Alex and Jen celebrating. Alex right now is the leader of our Burn Your Pants Off challenge, right? He won the first month. He's up in the second month right now that we have going on with the challenge on the Map My Walk app. I'm currently in second place, but I haven't done much, man. So everybody was all into it in January, but the second month, it seems like Alex is the only one who really, really wants to put up some big numbers right now.
Yeah. And they keep telling us we need to get fiber internet. I'm like, I have AT&T fiber. I've had it for many years. And what's happening probably with YouTube is I think there's some type of a maintenance issue going on with their servers. Like I said, I'll reach out to them after today's show, and I'm going to let them know, hey, man, over the course of the last couple of days, we've been having some issues with the stream. So I think it's something they need to look into.
Hey, don't forget our party is going to be February 28th. So not this Friday, but
bags, along with some stickers and some other goodies in there. But the stickers, they're going to be coming in here probably within the next week or so before the event. The coasters are really nice. Like I said, they're cork, and they have the Area 210 logo on there. It says the year that we're established. And it's just another thing, that you can enjoy, because these are gifts from men, right, Mike? They're gifts from men, the swag bags. So these are things that you use. You're going to want to go ahead and, you're sitting outside or something. You put your drink down. Hey, man, check out these coasters. And you put your pour where you're drinking some bourbon, or you're putting your beer there. You're out by the barbecue, you have your bottle opener, Area 210. So little things that we're just giving everybody. Joe,
let's give some love to our good friends over at Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio. We'll talk pop culture on the other side. A little bit of Spurs at the end of the show, but we had 2 passings over the weekend and one tall tale that's coming up that's not a tall tale. Let's give some love to Hard Rock Cafe.
The Hard Rock Cafe, San Antonio, is Riverwalk dining at its best. With great scenic views, along with its amazing collection of rock memorabilia, there is something for everyone. Enjoy happy hour weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with $8 and $10 appetizers, $5 domestic drafts, and $6 craft import drafts at the bar only. Try some of the Hard Rock Cafe's legendary steak burgers, or my personal favorite, such as the grilled salmon or baby back ribs. Make sure to visit the 3rd level and enjoy the DJ as you take in the city skyline. The Hard Rock Cafe is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Again, our party's going to be the 28th.
Yeah, everybody come enjoy us. Come and enjoy us here on the 28th. Come out, celebrate, our 500th episode. And also, the Hard Rock Cafe is a good destination downtown. It's right in the middle of downtown, right on the Riverwalk. We'll be on the third level, and we're going to be in the Emerald Room, Mike, which is a brand new room that they just built out there. It'd be great to hang out with all the gente here in the chat, put a name to the face, take pictures, all that kind of stuff. And of course, we do have what, Mike? We have free drinks to hand out to the people. We have at least 2 free drinks that we're going to be giving out, maybe more. Mike says that, he's going to have some maybe sponsors out there too that are going to be contributing to the pot. So
Mhm.
maybe you hang out with Miguelito, he might get you a drink or so.
Hey, a great stat by Codify Baseball says that Babe Ruth hit 149 home runs after Robert Duvall was born. Robert Duvall, who passed away yesterday at the age of 95. Babe Ruth was still playing baseball when Robert Duvall was alive. So the American Film Institute, they are very well known for their opinions about movies and the glorification of movies from the beginning of time. They rank movies like they're considered to be like the legit ones that rank movies, right? Top 100 movies of all time. The actor with the most appearances is Robert Duvall. Six movies, including Godfather, Godfather 2, Apocalypse Now, making that list, Joe. So that's 6 movies that he was in. He was never the star, right? 'Cause those were Pacino movies, or those were Brando movies, or those were other people's movies. But he was always the guy behind the guy, right, Joe? I enjoyed Robert Duvall's movies. Days of Thunder. I know it's not the greatest movie of all time, but for a sports movie, I
It's
mean,
good. It's all right.
Days of Thunder is a great popcorn flick. And we wouldn't have had Talladega Nights without it. But rest in peace to Robert Duvall, Joe. What were your favorite Robert Duvall movies?
I like Days of Thunder. What was some other movies that he came out in?
Well, I mean, The
Trying to think.
Godfather is the most.
Godfather's always a good one. But The Godfather's a slow burn, Mike. Like it takes so long for it to reach like an action scene. Right? It's a lot of talking, a lot of setting everything up, and then boom, something happens. So The
Mhm.
Godfather's good. It's just a very slow burn. What are some of the other movies it came out in?
Well, he's best known for To Kill a Mockingbird.
Lonesome Dove. I remember that. Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, Apocalypse Now, which is a great movie. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now in a long
Open
time.
Range.
He was in The Apostle. He was in The Judge. Godfather
Falling
Part
Down.
2. He
I
was in,
forgot he wasn't Falling Down.
that's right. He was the cop going after Michael Douglas's character in that movie.
Yeah.
He was in The Natural, Joe. Another sports movie.
Oh, what was that other movie that he was in?
Colors.
No, that funny one with Reese Witherspoon. Oh, what was it called? Four Christmases.
Yeah. He was in
That
Sling
one was a
Blade.
funny one.
Sling Blade, Deep Impact, Gone in 60 Seconds, Open Range, Jack Reacher. He was in Hustle. I saw Hustle last night with
Hustle.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about but he wasn't the star of any of these movies. He was
Yeah.
he was the sixth man of every movie. He was the Manu Ginobili of these movies. It's great.
Look at Gone in 60 Seconds. He was in that one too. Remember that one
Mm-hmm.
with Nicolas Cage back in the day? Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a lot of movies.
Also died yesterday at the age of 84, civil rights icon Jesse Jackson. So Chica, I mentioned this to Chica this morning. I was like, hey man, Jesse Jackson died. I said, did you know that I crashed into him one time? And she was, here we go again. Here we go again.
Did you say, oh, Michael the embellisher? I like it when she says that.
Yeah. All right, so let's take you back in time. I was 21, 22 years old, and I was a news reporter at KIII in Corpus Christi, Texas. And they told me that they wanted me to do a story on Jesse Jackson visiting Corpus Christi to speak at some function. And I was going to have a live shot on location, like, hey, behind me is the studio, is the theater where he's going to be speaking, yada, 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 give a whole spiel about who Jesse Jackson was, the protege of Martin Luther King Jr., all that stuff, right? Well, what I didn't realize was that the station was trying to get him in studio to interview him before the event. I had no idea. So in my head it was, I need to go out to the live shot and go do my story. So Corpus Christi that station was small, Joe. I mean, the whole newsroom was the size of the downstairs of my house. It was a small place, right? So I'm turning the corner because I'm running late to my live shot. I'm turning the corner around this tight hallway, and I bump into a guy. Right, I bump in like shoulder to shoulder. It wasn't like dramatic, but it was enough for me to say I'm sorry. I look back, it was Jesse Jackson. I had no idea. I rammed shoulders with him, and he took me out, man. Jesse Jackson was a big dude, man. I'm 5'7". That dude's probably 6'3", man. And he just completely like wiped me out a little bit. I mean, I'm walking through, I went like that. I was like, man, I'm so sorry, man. I'm running late. I look over, it was Jesse Jackson. I was like, oh hey, and he just nodded and kept on going. And he was being trailed by Joe Gazin, who was the news anchor that we had at that time. And so I met him for 2 seconds.
2
And
seconds. That was your 2 seconds.
I brushed shoulders with him. I told Chico, I was like, yeah, I rubbed shoulders with Jesse Jackson. She goes, shut up. That sounds like an embellished
You
moment.
need to have all these fake photos somewhere. Like, when you go and you see a film and they have the president or they have somebody that's a prominent politician in a movie, and you look over at their table and they always have to have the shot, and it shows them with all these high level officials, right? Whether
Right.
it be movie stars or it's going to be a prince of some nation or something, shaking hands, they're side by side taking pictures. It's like, you need to have something like that at the house, a corner, the embellishing corner,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm San Antonio's Forrest Gump is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Tony Anello says Mike just saw a tall black man with a mustache. Wasn't Jesse Jackson.
Oh my
And
God.
Mario says you literally ran into him. I did. So because if you're in a tight hallway and it's like a 4-way stop type of thing,
Yeah.
you just turn in the corner. He was coming this way, and I was turning the corner, and I shouldered him, or should I say, I shouldered his forearm. It's more like
my
it.
gosh.
Because that guy's kind of tall, man. But rest in peace
Hey,
to both
Jesse
Robert
Jackson.
Duvall and Jesse Jackson.
Got some news for you, man, as we start, ending the show here. Regional sports network coverage, like
Yeah.
FanDuel Sports Network. We've been hearing for quite some time that they were on life support and that they were probably going to pull the plug on them. Well, I got an update on that. So what the NBA has decided is that the NBA is going to start pulling all that programming from FanDuel, and it's going to happen next season. So they're going to let them finish out the season
Mhm.
because they don't want to put the fans in dire straits, right? Because they've already paid for a whole season in advance, some of them, and they don't want to go ahead and have to displace that, and then how are you going to watch these basketball games for the foreseeable future, right? As you're getting close to the end of the season, and every game matters, and fans really want to support their team and watch these games because, like I said, every game matters. There's going to be some matchups here that fans can't miss. So the league has decided to go ahead and let FanDuel retain these rights to broadcast said games.
That's good.
Now, next season, there's going to be a change. And what's going to happen is that the NBA is now going to go ahead and have to work out some type of a deal. Now, the deal is, how are they going to go ahead and get those regional sports coverages, for said games and for said, let's say teams? What are they going to do? Are they going to bring it back to like a streaming platform? Are they going to make it part of something that's going to be local, like a local network, like Ken's 5, maybe, Channel 29? Or are they going to go ahead and have it bundled somehow with their NBA offerings that they already have, with the NBA League Pass and whatnot? So there's a lot of things to think about here. I'm not really sure what they're going to wind up doing. I'm sure they'll think of that in the summertime. But more than likely, what's going to happen, it might cost the consumer more to ingest, Spurs games next season. It's going to be more than just, oh, FanDuel, we pay $20, we can see it. Now what's going to happen? What if ESPN buys the rights to them? Now you're going to have to go ahead and get that ESPN streaming platform to watch it. Like, you're going to have to account for spending more money than just the $20 that you were just to watch the Spurs for the season. So just something to think about.
Well, as much as it sucks that FanDuel can't afford to pay the royalty rights or for covering the NBA, the NBA can't just simply say, "Well, the heck with you, we're just going to cancel," because that hurts the NBA.
It does.
The NBA is in a good spot right now. Ratings are going up. The All-Star game had an 80% increase from last year. And the most watched moment of the All Star game was when the international team went down the second time, towards the end of the game when Wemby missed that 3-pointer that could have sent it to overtime. That was the most watched moment of all of NBA All Star Weekend. The NBA can't just cut the cord and say, "Well, you can't pay our fee, so our fans are going to suffer." They're gonna have to regroup at the end of the year and try to figure out what's what.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost money. And I saw Michael Wilbon of ESPN and Charles Barkley of also of ESPN complaining about all the different networks. But that's just the world that we live in, Joe. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody wants a piece of the pie, and it's not going to be easy for fans. What channel is it on? Because it used to be Fox Sports Net. Just
Yeah.
go to Fox Sports Net. It's there. If not there, it's Ken's. And now it's like, well, some of these games are on ESPN, some of these games are on Amazon, some of these games are on Peacock, some of these games are on whatever. That's just the way the world works these days, and we can't complain about it because it's never going to change.
Yeah, and the way it boils down to, it's all about money, Mike. So, the NBA has contracts already in place with like Prime, Peacock, ESPN, right? ABC, right? Where they air games on Saturdays or Sundays on Channel 12, KSAT locally, because that's the ABC affiliate. What happens is that they get paid for these RSNs. So at the end of the day, it boils down to the NBA making more money, right? And of course, the teams, I'm sure, are getting some type of a kickback from that as well. It's going to be interesting how this dynamic is going to play out, because this is going to be the future of how everyone's going to ingest sports. Because like you said, it's getting to the point to where, wasn't it easier to watch your sports when you had cable versus now
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people are cutting the cord? Now you have to have what? Prime Video, you have to have Paramount, you have to have Peacock, you have to have ESPN. You have to have all these streaming services just to watch your favorite sports event, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever it might be, boxing, wrestling, MMA. It's on a different streaming platform. At the end of the day, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to pick and choose, Mike. You can no longer be like, oh, I can afford them because it's only like $10, $12. They're starting to go up in price now as they start
Well, because they have to pay
assuming.
for the rights. They have to pay
Exactly.
for
As
the
they start
rights.
assuming more of these sporting events, Paramount, they went ahead and hit me up already and said, hey, your monthly bill every month is going up because now they have all boxing, they have MMA, UFC. So it's gone up. Same thing's going to happen with Prime. Same thing's going to happen with all these platforms. They're going to go up in price. And before we know it, we're going to be like, man, we're paying more than we did for cable.
Do you know what's becoming more popular these days, Joe? Cable.
Um,
Just outright cable.
it's less expensive. When you think
Yeah.
about it, you just pay one flat rate and you get to watch everything. The only thing with cable is that cable nickel and dimes you as well, because if you want a DVR to record, you want to record your games because you're busy at work, you get home and you want to watch them. Well, now you have to have phone service, right? Who has a landline anymore? Nobody. I know Spectrum makes you do that. Oh, you want the DVR, you have to get our phone service. Why? That's just a money grab, dude. It's dumb.
One more topic, Joe, before we head off for the day, man. Just notice that today is Tag Day in the NFL, so the NFL tag can be placed on players starting today at 3 p.m. Tag Day goes all the way to March 6th. So what a tag basically means is what, Joe? It means that you tie down a player for a 1-year contract, and you have to pay him a specified amount, which is like an average of the top 5 in that
Yeah.
position. The Cowboys sometimes use their tags, sometimes they don't, but more often than not, that they do. George Pickens would be the guy. And if they tag him for a 1-year deal, they can extend them out, right? They can say, okay, we're going to tag you,
Yeah.
and we're going to sign you to a long-term deal, and then remove the tag. But he'd have to get paid $28.8 million. So that would be $62 million going towards 2 receivers. That'd be $122 million going towards 2 receivers and a quarterback, Joe.
Yeah.
Should the Cowboys tag George Pickens?
Why not?
Because they have issues.
No, they're going to go ahead and franchise Pickens. It's sending a message. What are they going to do from a defensive perspective? That's really what they need to start looking at, right? And Jerry Jones had went on record, and I saw, and I got to see if it's AI generated or what, or how the soundbite came to be. But he was just kind of saying that, hey, you just watch. We're going to be working on the off season. We know that we got to rebuild our defense, and he goes, you can go ahead and turn up. What do you say? Something to the effect of going from like basically last place, from your defense to now shoring up the defense, and then watch. We're going to be a better team. 2026, here we come.
Hey, he's
That
got to
same
sell it.
mantra.
He's got to sell it.
It's the
He's got
same
to
thing every year, Mike.
selling
Next year
hope.
is our year.
Selling hope.
It's false hope that he's selling to the fans, man. Like, come on, Jerry. Do
The
better,
Giants are
bro.
going to get better. The Commanders
Jerry's gonna
with James
Jerry's
Daniels
gonna
going to get
die,
better.
Mike. He's gonna die, and they never gonna sniff a freaking Super Bowl or a conference game. That's not gonna happen in
Can you
Jerry's
imagine
lifetime.
that, Joe? The day that happens. Can you imagine the day that happens? How big of
Yeah,
a sports story that's going to be?
it's
I
gonna be
mean,
huge.
it's going to be massive, Joe. It's going to be massive.
And truthfully, Mike, you can see the Reapers knocking on the door, bro. The writing's there on the wall already. Is this gonna be Jerry's last season?
Yeah. Tony wants us to go to the media share. What's going on with the
Yeah,
media
I
share?
see that. I got it pulled up already, Tony. He sent a picture he created for you, Miguelito.
How did he get that photo of me? I haven't had that blue polo in years.
Who knows, man? AI, it's all AI generated.
Yeah, that's about the height difference, man. I ran into his forearm.
His forearm. Oh God.
Jesse Jackson ran for president twice. I remember that back in the day.
You know what? I was gonna tell you, you want to look for a movie to watch this week. You know how you watch old movies, sometimes you put them up there on the TV as background while you're working, just like I do. Varsity Blues, bro.
Okay, so I saw. It's funny that you mentioned Varsity Blues. I'm glad that you mentioned it, by the way, because um, there's an author that used to be a sports writer, right? What's his name? Jeff Pearlman.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me make sure that that's the name. He has a new book out about Tupac, where he interviews people. Jeff Pearlman, yeah, he interviews people all around. People, okay, whenever you have like a story about somebody, you interview the person that was their manager, that was their tour, this, that, and the other, that was their handler, right? Jeff Pearlman wrote a book about Tupac, about people who were around him that were not in official capacities. These were people who were like people that he went to high school with, people that he went to whatever. It's like people that were around him, but more on an informal basis, which is interesting. He had a whole thing on TikTok yesterday about the movie Varsity Blues, which I thought was kind of interesting because Pearlman goes off to say that Varsity Blues is one of the worst acted movies of all time, but that he loves the movie so much.
He
And
overlooks it.
he compared the movie Varsity Blues to the movie Major League.
Oh,
He says
God.
he said he called it football's version of Major League that Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes
Mhm.
back in the day. He goes, it's in the same vein that Major League and Varsity Blues are basically the same DNA. Do you buy
Yeah.
that, Joe?
No, I don't think so, man. I mean, Varsity Blues just hits different, dude. I mean, it's not good by any means. Let's put it like that. It's
It's
just, it's a popcorn flick,
it's a
right?
Big Mac, dude. It's not good for you, but it just goes down
It's
well,
a
man.
guilty pleasure. It's a guilty
Yeah,
pleasure, right? If you are of a certain age, you're gonna watch Varsity Blues because it reminds you of all the pendejadas you used to do when you were in high school.
yeah,
So you're gonna watch it. I think what's up, Davis. Congratulations are in order to the women's curling team as they
yes.
advance to the medal round here.
They beat Canada.
There you go. Well, they actually beat, Denmark 10-3. So congratulations to the ladies as they advance. You know what they were saying, and it was funny too. I saw somebody doing a spoof of this. I think it was on social media somewhere. They were saying that Mexican moms would be perfect for curling because they do all the cleaning all the time, and they had even had bottles of Fabuloso, the mop, the broom, the escoba. They'd say they'd be
How's it going
cleaning
with that?
house, man.
Like, what does it do? Is it guiding it along the way? Is that
It
what it's
guides it.
doing?
It kind of like you're rubbing the ice, right? You're scraping the ice down a little bit, and it just helps the stone have a little channel to kind of traverse, right? So what you're trying to do is trying to get as close to the center with the stone as you can. And if there's any other, let's say, stones there in the center, you can knock them out of the way, right?
Yeah, it's
And
shuffleboard. It's human
it
shuffleboard.
is, man.
It's so stupid. These
It
these,
is.
these winter sports are so stupid.
It's
Lots of
funny,
comments in
dude.
today, Joe.
Yeah, lots of stuff. But we're gonna have to call it, man. I got to get back to work. I got to get ready to log in and start my day. I'm not looking forward to it. I wish I was still off. I enjoyed a 4-day weekend. It's another short week, though. That's the one thing that I have to look forward to. So get
I'm
one
proud to
day
say
under the books.
I'm proud to say that I got Chica down to a 4-day weekend now, man. That's
Yeah,
me
that's good.
being the provider, man. You know what I'm saying? No, man.
Mhm.
She used to work 5 days a week, man. Used to work her ass off as a dental hygienist. Now I got her Tuesday through Thursday, man. So she gets to take care of me on Mondays and Fridays. I'll be in San Antonio. Couple of news and notes here, Joe. I'll be in San Antonio on Friday. We'll figure out what we're going to do on the Friday show as well. We'll try to figure that one out. And then next week, I'm out of town. So we got to get
Yeah.
some guest hosts next week because I have a business meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll probably be able to do like a segment a day or start the show off when I'm in Charlotte. But as far as doing the whole show, I can't because I have my meetings unless I have a lunch break, and I got to figure that out because they're Eastern time, right? So if
Yeah.
our show starts at 10, lunch, I might be able to do
11ish.
that. Be doing it from the lobby of a hotel, but it is what
Yeah.
it is.
JHNSB is pushing for the KD files, much like the Epstein files here.
What are the
Wants
KD
to-
files?
I guess they caught KD and also
Oh
controversy
yeah,
again with his burner accounts or whatnot.
dude, that guy is always up to burners, man.
That's just a wuss, dude. I mean, if you're gonna say something, say like if you're gonna talk about somebody, don't be afraid to like tell them to their face. You're gonna talk about them behind their face
Yeah,
or behind their back. Also, be willing to say the same thing to them face to face, dude. Like, come on.
yeah. No, I read about that, but I didn't know if it was true or not. I didn't
He's
know if it
always
was just
wrapped in controversy
just
somehow.
internet nonsense. But episode 525 is in the books. We'll be back tomorrow. Everyone have a fantastic day.
Yep. We'll see you guys. We're out. Peace.
Like, hit the like